Hello, my name is Russell. I am the Global News Supporters and Fundraising Lead for Greenpeace International. And today I want to talk to you about fundraising in the face of intimidation and then how we can turn threats into fuel for people power. Before we begin, I want you to use your imagination. I want you to imagine that you speak up for people and the planet, for clean air, a safe climate, and the protection of nature. Instead of being heard, powerful corporations or wealthy individuals drag you into court, not to win on the facts, but to wear you down, to exhaust, intimidate, and silence you. Unfortunately, this is the reality for Greenpeace, but also for many activists, journalists, and organizations around the world. Powerful corporations, often with billionaire backers, are weaponizing the legal system with slaps, strategic lawsuits against public participation. These lawsuits aim to make speaking out too risky, too time-consuming, and too expensive, shutting down public participation and civil society and risking free speech. It may come as no surprise to you that Greenpeace organizations have faced their fair share of slaps over the years, and these are just some examples from the last couple of years, really. But the one I want to talk to you about today is specifically the one at the bottom there, Energy Transfer. Big oil bully, Energy Transfer, is waging a slap lawsuit against Greenpeace International and Greenpeace entities in the United States, and in an attempt to silence protest and rewrite the history of indigenous-led protest movement against the Dakota Access Pipeline. A jury, which a majority of them had ties to fossil fuels, in Morton County, North Dakota, found the Greenpeace entities liable for more than $660 million on the 19th of March. I'd say don't worry. Greenpeace International and Greenpeace US, the entities in the US, will appeal once the judgment is finalized. And in a clear message to kind of corporate bullies everywhere, Greenpeace International are taking Energy Transfer to court in the Netherlands using Europe's new anti-SLAPP law to set a precedent that corporate bullying will not stand. Greenpeace has never been faint of heart. So for 50 years, we faced governments, dictators, and corporations, and every time our strength comes from people power when we do this. So when this attack came, we didn't shrink back. We saw that as an opportunity to rally supporters, galvanize our movement, and show that when we're under attack, we rise stronger. So we built a responsive global campaign team within Greenpeace International, and together we developed a campaign to show supporters exactly what's at stake and help organizations tell our network of organizations tell the story quickly, turning crisis into opportunity. And I think a really distinct key element of the campaign was that fundraising was built into the campaign from the very beginning. The mindset was through new acquisition and retention materials. We made it clear that every donation and every action helps level the playing field. So we can't outspend them. We know that they've got so much money, but we can outlast them and maneuver them with people power. And then because cases like this drag on, timing was critical when we went to our supporters with asks. So we had to avoid donor fatigue and choose our moments really carefully. The most powerful moments came when we aligned our fundraising with the spikes of public attention that came with the big verdicts, court hearings, and media coverage. And by combining those earned media moments with rapid, coordinated fundraising, we saw the strongest engagement. And that's, in other words, program and fundraising working hand in hand, turning those headlines into support. So how did we move so quickly? We invested in centrally produced fundraising and mobilization materials. So from acquisition ads that you can see here to emails to social media content, they gave each Greenpeace organization an out-of-the-box toolkit to adapt locally, which proved more efficient and coherent than them just doing it on their own. And you can see here like the full funnel acquisition approach that we provided to boost engagement with new audiences and regular givers. Oh, sorry about that. And this entire suite is modular and adaptable for each Greenpeace organization to use to fit their local context. And then we also centrally produce materials that fits our regular methodology for existing audiences during the biggest moments of the lawsuits. So like the impact so far, this is a live case, and we're already seeing that impact. Supporters worldwide are engaging because this fight isn't just about Greenpeace, it's about free speech, the right to protest, and whether ordinary people can stand up to extraordinary power. And when we connected our fundraising to the big public moments in the case, amplified by that global media coverage, results spiked. So officers used agile testing with centrally produced content to reach those new audiences and drive donations. So, like for example, the full funnel approach in the US worked extremely well with over 1,000 new monthly donors joining at around $40 per cost per acquisition when it was all around this. The same was happened in Spain, where telefundraising upgrades rose nearly 10%, with an average gift after building in a responsive script explaining the importance of slaps. And then across the network, email campaigns and mail appeal campaigns saw record and near record results, especially when timed with major lawsuit developments. So together, the Greenpeace organizations have raised millions, proving that a coordinated, adaptable approach works across borders. Um, and like to be frank, we're not reinventing the wheel here, but as a global network, it has been vital that we've been able to move quickly and help each Greenpeace organization fundraise in these moments of crisis and make it that adaptable to the local context of each of the organizations. So our learnings are like super simple but super important. That a clear, identifiable opponent, whether that's Trump, a big oil bully, or a billionaire bully, motivates supporters with that strong story of injustice. And then being under attack is not just a challenge, it's a rallying point. It shows why our movement matters and why fundraising is absolutely essential to that, that it gives them this uh, proper reason of getting involved into the campaign. And then being under attack is not just a challenge, it's that rallying point. It shows why our movement matters and why funding is essential, and that centrally produced adaptable content lets us move fast across those markets. And then, of course, testing, learning, and sharing results strengthens our collective impact. But I think the thing that I missed on this slide is it also takes bravery. Like this is a David versus Goliath fight, and it carries a huge amount of risk. But that is exactly why it's worth it, which kind of like leads me to my final message that every slap, every attack is meant to silence us. But what we've shown is that people power can turn intimidation into fuel. And when we're under attack, our movement doesn't shrink, it grows stronger. And that's exactly why it's time to resist. Thank you.